And good afternoon and welcome back to day 3 of our E3 2012 live coverage right here from the center of the PlayStation universe, live from our booth. We're hours away until show doors close, the show floor closes. But before we close up and close shop, I am joined by Dan
Sochin.
Thank you, producer on Sleeping Dogs from United Front Games, which of course you know, they're the guys behind Mod Nation Racers. Dude, this is pretty surreal. Last time you and I hung out was 2009 when I was at Destructoid interviewing you on Mod Nation Racers, and here we are now in the future talking about Sleeping Dogs. How does it feel?
Really exciting. I mean, we've been working on the game for 4.5 years now, and it's been awesome. We've really got the additional time to polish it, make it an amazing experience, refine the combat, and we're ready to go.
So, if I do the math correctly, while we talked about Mod Nation Racers, you guys were secretly working on this?
We've had 2 teams in development. So one was on Mod Nation Racers, and I was on that, and then we had the other part of the team working on Sleeping Dogs. And once I finished Mod Nation, I moved on to this team.
Industry secrets. Industry secrets. Well, we got some gameplay to show it off today. Let's actually cue that up. What are we seeing today?
So this is a new mission we hadn't shown before E3. It's called New Boss. It's about halfway through the game, and basically Wei's being confronted by another rival gang who's trying to infringe on their territory. So Wei basically gives him an ultimatum. The rival gang doesn't really appreciate that much, and a shootout ensues.
Okay, well, surprise, surprise, an action game. So, Sleeping Dogs has been in development for quite a while. Talk about the process of going from concept to today. Like, why do we need the game Sleeping Dogs?
Sleeping Dogs, it's a pretty unique open world game.
Great.
We really tried to reinvent the genre a little bit by focusing on sort of the core gameplay, moment to moment. Often in open world games, it feels like some of those things have been forsaken for the freedom of the sandbox experience. But instead, we really wanted to make that an emphasis for us, spending a lot of time on a very fluid hand-to-hand combat martial arts system.
Great.
As well, the driving. A lot of us worked at Black Box on Need for Speed, as well as Mod Nation Racers, Little Big Planet karting.
Awesome.
So we know our racing games. We've taken that, wrapped that up with shooting, and put it into a really tight, gritty crime drama narrative that we think really separates us from a lot of other open world games out there.
Right, let's start her up. Let's give me the play-by-play weatherman.
Awesome.
A very common PlayStation prompt. So talk about the character. We got a loading screen, we got a hot chick in a dress, and we got a cool dude with a gun.
So that's Wei Shen. He's an undercover cop, and he grew up in Hong Kong. He left. His parents basically took him and his sister away. He'd gotten involved with gangs, moved to San Francisco. Now he became a cop in San Fran. He's been asked to go back to Hong Kong, use his past connections and ties to help infiltrate the gang and try and take down the head of the Triads.
So we see a cinematic here. What's going on right here?
So Wei's basically talking to 2 of the other guys in his gang, an old friend of his, Jackie Ma, and they're basically talking about sort of the current situation. The rivalry between 2 factions of the gangs has really started to heat up, and Wei, obviously they don't know that he's an undercover cop, but they're starting to really look for him more and more in guidance. And so it's a lot of the dilemma for the player and obviously for Wei, the main character as well. The deeper he goes undercover, the more the lines become blurred. Is he cop? Is he triad? He keeps being forced to do more and more violent and aggressive things to basically keep his cover.
Right on. So you guys did work on Mod Nation Racers. That's a very fun, lovable, happy game. This is very dark, grimy, intense. What's that like for a studio to work on 2 completely polar opposite titles?
I think it's awesome. I think it's really nice. I think it shows the diversity and the talent that we've got at United Front, that we're able to do 2 very different games. It's also really fun, you do the fun, the colorful, the bright game, and then next thing you're jumping on a game working on where you're taking a guy's face and putting it into a table saw.
Was there some sort of like rivalry between the teams? It's like, I'd rather be working on the dark game. I'd rather be working on the kids game.
No, it's great. I think we're very collaborative. We do lots of, getting the other guys on either team, playing it, giving feedback. So we work really well together in the studio that way.
Right now, I guess we're actually going to gameplay now.
We're jumping into gameplay.
What's the first thing we're going to see after when we start up?
So this is the Bam Bam Club, what they've used basically as their hangout.
Nice.
So we've got the slow-mo sequences. We've definitely taken a lot of influences from Hong Kong cinema, John Woo, to kind of capture those exciting game moments and accentuating them. So you're able to trigger slow-mo by basically doing a vault move and then jumping over, hitting the aim button, and you can then create a slow-mo sequence.
That's awesome. Yeah, you know, I'm already sold. Hot pink everywhere. Hot pink. Now, is this a nightclub, a strip joint? Where are we at?
This is a nightclub, and that one of the earlier missions, you've basically gone, taken it over, made it your own. Now this rival gang, they sent up their thugs to basically shoot it up and try and push you out.
Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, so it looks like he's jumping across all sorts of obstacles and stuff like that. Was that sort of like, you know, challenging? Like, does he jump over crazier things like this? Because I know in Max Payne 3, we got Max Payne like jumping out of windows and dodging and shooting. This looks like it's far more violent and colorful. Talk about, you know, crap. Just talk about anything really that I'm just like, the reason why I'm so stuck on it is because I'm actually kind of intense. Like, I'm stuck on the fact that it's hot pink, looks so great. And this totally saved me. What is happening right now?
So the shootout's now moved outside.
Okay.
And as you can see, we've really tried to make all the action very seamless.
Right.
Allowing the player to feel like they're a martial arts superstar themselves. And so quickly things can go from hand-to-hand combat to free running into shooting. And we try and, you know, make each of those a transition. It's not like this is the shooting mission. This is the fighting mission. They really kind of transition between each of them.
Now, is this all the same engine when it cuts the cutscene and back to gameplay? Is it the same engine, or how does that work?
Yeah, we do have some pre-rendered sequences in there, but a lot of it's all run through the in-game system. And yeah, and this is all open world. You can go back to that club at any time. There's girls there. You can hang out. You know, check out the music we've got in the game. Some top 40 stuff as well as Canto Pop.
Oh, right on.
And you know, all these areas, it's all part of the open world system.
Now, you mentioned the Bay Area. Any chance that we might see the Bay Area sometime in this game?
Sorry, what's that?
You mentioned the Bay Area in San Francisco. He's from San Francisco,
Yes.
or he was in San Francisco. Any chance we might see that in the game at all?
No, it's all focused solely on Hong Kong. And we've really
cool.
taken the time to kind of capture Hong Kong as a city. We've gone as a team, done numerous trips there, taken tens of thousands of photos.
Right on.
We met with Triad members while we were there, met with undercover cops to try and, you know, tell a very authentic and gritty story.
How do you talk to a Triad member and be like, so we're making this game? Like, how does that work? Like, how do you have those conversations?
You know, very delicately, scanning the room, making sure there's no cleavers
Can
around.
you stand in this white room so we can scan you? Would you like to do mocap? That's cool, man.
So, but yeah, we wanted to get sort of what is it about, you know, be a Triad member versus gangs that maybe we're a little more familiar with in sort of Western culture, a gang that has 400 years of history, and to try and capture that in the game.
You know, I actually like the fact that it reminds you of Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which is actually one of my favorite Fast and Furiouses. So that's actually really, really cool.
So, you know, again, trying to seamlessly sort of transitioning from one mode to the next. So now we've got a sort of rail shooter portion where your ally, Jackie Ma, he's driving, and a bunch of the rival gangs chasing after you on bikes, cars.
Oh, that's great.
You can shoot out the driver and you'll see the car sort of careen and slam into a building, or you can shoot out the tires, or try and shoot out each of the guys individually.
Well, now, is this all queued up, or is this just the AI randomly coming at you?
This is all AI, so each time you play through, it's a very different experience.
Very, very cool. Anything else you'd like to bring out, talk about that, you know, that I sucked at not asking you?
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of fun. It's a very immersive sort of gameplay experience, but it changes all the time. Someone asked me in an interview earlier today and said, how many different ways can you kill someone in the game? I was like, well, it's a dark, morbid question, but we've got all these environmental props in the world, combat props. So you can grab an enemy and then put their face onto a grill, put their face into a bandsaw, throw them into a dumpster. So we've got over 60 of those in the game, plus all the different shooting ways, a wide variety of martial arts moves. And as the game progresses, you actually can upgrade your player.
That's
so
awesome.
taking some elements from RPGs,
cool.
so that you can actually learn new martial arts moves, acquire some new items, and some new abilities as well.
Right on. Out of the 4 years, what did you guys focus more when in the production?
We kind of had a team focused all the way from the beginning on driving, one on shooting, and one on the hand-to-hand
Really?
martial arts combat.
Teams. That's
Separate
really cool.
teams. Should we call them the FSR group? So fighting, shooting,
Mission
running.
failed. Was that his first time ever?
So yeah, and basically I'd say that the area that we really wanted to make sure that we nailed was the hand-to-hand martial arts combat.
Awesome.
Because obviously that's something very distinct, and being in Hong Kong, to try and reproduce that martial arts Hong Kong feel, we made that a priority for it. It's built our own engine, had tons and tons of animations. We worked with George St. Pierre, the UFC fighter, current welterweight champion of the world.
That's freaking cool.
And to consult and making sure that we were able to quickly transition from different fighting styles and moves to make it all feel very very smooth.
Right on. So what happens next? You guys have a release date. When is it coming out? What's the info there?
So yeah, we're the team's back in Vancouver, cranking away, wrapping things up. We're done. It'll be on shelves August 14th, coming out on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Windows PC.
Right on. That is great news. 4 years of hard work. Dan, it's always a pleasure to talk to you,
Great to see you, man.
See you in 3-4 years from now, right?
Hopefully sooner than that.
Hell yeah, dude. And coming up at 3:30 is the finale of the PlayStation E3 Challenge. With only 2 teams remaining, who will win a new PS Vita loaded with the latest games in a year of PlayStation Plus? Stay tuned.